So many dimensions, so little time. Kurisu Furo had just finished his inaugural plight of checking for any evil that might have fallen in other dimensions, and luckily there weren't any. Duties as a Dimension Warrior leader was getting a bit tiresome now that the evil villains that once threatened their worlds had been defeated and also locked away. This gave Kurisu some valuable time to look over his collection of Duel Monsters cards he had managed to collect over time when he wasn't fighting evil. He had collected some of the famous cards from the worlds of dueling, ones like Dark Magician, Blue Eyes White Dragon, the Elemental Heroes, and even number 39, Utopia. See, he was somehow fascinated by the world of Duel Monsters, that he would someday try to take on a duel. I got my deck all set. My items prepared. And got my new duel matrix all set up. But, the truth is, I'm no duelist. I don't have the mental capacity like the legendary duelists do. If only I had what it truly took to duel, Kurisu mused to himself. Most of his life, he was secluded from ever competing in duels, heck even the game itself. So it was sort of hard for Kurisu to even muster up any courage to even ask anyone. Maybe one day, he would get his chance. And then, a shining gold light emanating from the duel matrix would prove it. One day when he had gotten home from yet another trip outside, the Infocitrix alerted Kurisu with a message. He picked up the device and set it in mode 2, to its database, and read the hollow message. A new chance to prove your worth has opened up for you. Put on your duel matrix and be prepared to be challenged. Signed, an anonymous signal, Kurisu read. He made sure to check up with his mother in case he was ever hauled away to another world without any say, and then prepped his backpack with anything he could think of regarding safety in dueling. After that, he went back to put on his duel matrix, a blue Ultimatrix customized for dueling and crossing dimensions. The device registered his presence, and then glowed a bright gold, and encased Kurisu's body in some kind of energy which caused him to disappear in a flash of light, and plummeted him in a special vortex that took him to a new world. Wake up, a deep manly voice commanded. Kurisu seemed to collapse upon entry and tried to wake up. Man, he reminds me when I sleep through my dueling exams, a teen's voice said. Even worse through my math tests and failed, a raspy kid's voice said. Footsteps were heard and the first voice spoke closer and louder. Hey! Wake up, the manly voice said with more patience. Kurisu woke up and yawned, getting up. Ouch, my whole body feels like it hurts, Kurisu said right before he realized he sat in front of a figure with a spiky purple dark haircut. Glad you're awake now. Are you the one who accepted our challenge invitation? The figure that shared the manly voice said. That's right. I'm Kurisu Furo, he said. I'm sure you would know about me. It's come to no mystery, the figure said. The figure wore what seemed to be an Egyptian robe with gold bracelets on his wrists and neck. Hold on. I know you. You wouldn't be the famous Yugi? No. You're the spirit of the Millennium puzzle, Adam, that shares bodies with the famous Yugi Muto, Kurisu said. That's right. You may also know me from the classic era, Adam said as Yugi Muto himself, a smaller, albeit younger version of Adam, appeared beside him in spirit. I'm Jaden Yuki from Duel Academy in the GX era, the teen voice said, belonging to a body wearing silver white pants and shirt with a red leather jacket. I'm Yusei Fudo from New Domino City in the 5Ds era, another manly voice said, belonging to the oil black-haired man with a more darkish and futuristic leather jacket, stylish black and red shirt and pants adorning what looked to be knee pads at the knees. The 5Ds meaning 5 dragons. I'm Yuma Tsukumo, and this is Astral. We're from the Zexal era, the raspy kid's voice said coming from the kid that also had a red whitish getup, but had a pendant and had 2 pinkish streaks on top of his dark hairstyle. The spirit beside Yuma was light blue with an interesting body design. Adam looked around and was a bit weary. An ally of ours was supposed to show up here, but I guess he's late, Jaden said. Perchance, you all wouldn't happen to be the legendary duelists and the heroes of your worlds, right? Kurisu asked. Yes, it appears so. In our each respective eras, we are the heroic undefeated duelists representing our each point in time, Astral said. Mind telling me where I am? Kurisu asked. Looking around, he was in some sort of temple that would give him the feeling he was in some Egyptian tomb, and saw the Eye of Jajat below him, serving as part of the carved carpet ground for the room. You're in the Millennium Room. The secret pathway to each of our worlds. You've been brought here to show your talents of dueling to each of these worlds and prove that you have what it takes to duel. Adam said. And for my world, you'll have to attend our duel academy and strive to graduate, Jaden says. Wait. Me? Duel? I'm a low-to-no rookie. I'm not a pro like you guys are. If I had any chance of taking on a duel, then I'd have to learn how to duel first. My best bet would be to technically enroll in Duel Academy first, Kurisu said, complaining. No problem. I'm sure I would give a good word to the chancellor of our academy to let you in with an enrollment duel, Jaden said. Why you would do that? Kurisu said. Yup. You'd be surprised. Jaden said. Meanwhile, you'll stay with me and Yugi in Domino City. During that time, hopefully you won't come across any trouble, Adam said. Usually, trouble finds me. Kurisu says. Say, what's that device you have attached to your arm? Doesn't look like any dual disc I've seen. I said. You're half right. It's my new dual matrix. I created this contraption in case I would ever get into dueling. It has calculations, its own swivel field, everything. It even holds my deck on the side, Kurisu explained as he activates it. If that's the case, it'll help you in our worlds. It saves us the trouble of giving you a dual disc when you come and leave, I said, rubbing the back of his head. Oh, and it also gives a tracking signal and registers my cards, so it wouldn't look like I would cheat unregistered, Kurisu said a bit nervously. The 6 heroes' sweat dropped at the concerned appreciation. Ready for your destination? Adam asked. Sure. I'll stay in the classic era while I wait for my registration, Kurisu said. They accepted and Adam activates the eye below Kurisu, which had then transported to Domino City, the home of the classic era. While I wait for my registration to be accepted, my mission begins. Kurisu said to himself as he went on his way, putting the dual matrix in his backpack, and putting his deck in his newfound card pouch attached to his belt. He walked across the streets safely, as normal, and it didn't occur to him that he passed the street near Yugi's game shop until he about faced towards the building. He thought to himself he would go check out the shop, but he passed the chance and went somewhere else. Yugi was organizing something in his room and saw Kurisu walking on the sidewalk and hoped he wouldn't go into any trouble, like they explained earlier in the Millennium Room. Just then, an incoming signal was reported at Kaiba Corp, the company that created the technology needed for dueling and kept the records of the cards made by Industrial Illusions, the company that created the Duel Monsters card game. What's the status? A figure asked. The man had a silver-white leather jacket that adorned the KC logo, along with a black long sleeve with silky dark pants. Pretty much, he was designed to look as intimidating as his attitude. We received a new low signal of a new dual disc that appeared just out of nowhere. And looking into the database, it's fairly new and masked. And it seems that this new duelist has cards hardly ever seen before, a child's voice said. The child had long black hair, wearing a businesslike suit as if he was the additional manager of the company. Cards never seen before? It seems I'll have to pay this visitor a visit. Give me relay coordinates where he is when he stops so I can meet him, the man said. Are you sure, Sito? The kid asked. I am sure, Makoba. I don't want to take any chances if this new duelist is an adversary we can't afford to let pass by. We've already had enough with strange unexpected visitors dropping in unannounced, the older figure said as he left. Later that night, the only place Kurisu ever thought to hide away from the rain was an abandoned warehouse, a place he thought nobody would think to find him to kick him out for trying to find a place to rest. At the places he had visited, he kept revisiting his box and binder of Duel Monsters cards and kept track of progress within his Infocitrix and Duel Matrix. He kept giving glances to his cards and gadgets and put them back, bringing out a packaged sandwich he had packed before he left and ate it. Soon after, he had fallen asleep, laying on the backpack like a pillow and used his jacket as a blanket, with his Duel Monsters box right next to him, so he could look after it. Unbeknownst to him, the young man named Seto Kaiba was drawing near because his brother, Makoba Kaiba, gave him directions where Kurisu was. He had parked his bike near the stationary place Kurisu is, and was able to open the slider door. Luckily for Kaiba, Kurisu was a deep sleeper, and try as he might being quiet, he didn't wake up. Kaiba eyed the box and uncovered the top of it, and found the 2 decks Kurisu had prepared. About to find out what they were though, the cards started to flash and light up, which startled the intruderous Kaiba, and watches the card Spirit of the Light and Darkness Dragon. "What are you?" Kaiba asked quietly. "Thou shalt not intrude one's personal treasures. Thieves shall be punished, should they tread into territory they are not meant to tread. Leave now, for this boy is none of your concern," the dragon spirit said, which persuaded Kaiba to leave the stationary hold, should he not anger the dragon spirit of the unknown card. The very next day, a group of teens found the same stationary hold and once again opened the door. "See, he's right here, just like I said," Yugi said. "You sure, buddy? Why would anybody sleep in this place? Sheesh, gives me flashbacks to Battle City," a guy named Joey Wheeler said. "Hey, guy, wake up. Rise and shine, Kurisu," Yugi said calmly. Kurisu had then woken up to Yugi jostling him and yawned. "Oh, hey there. What are you guys doing here?" he tiredly asked. "Don't mind us, pal, our buddy Yugi said you'd be here and we'd thought to wake you up fair something," Joey said. Joey Wheeler was a blonde-haired guy with a Brooklyn accent, wearing the traditional school's male blue uniform. "Wake me up for?" "Oh yeah, that's right," Kurisu said. "Luckily the school you'll be attending, a friend of mine said, won't be for another few hours. Wanna catch some breakfast?" Yugi asked. He asked because Joey was nearby, and it would have been too soon to mention Duel Academy. "That'd be nice, but I don't want to be a bother, really," Kurisu said. But the persuasion was too much and Kurisu tagged along and picked out some cheap toast. "So you saying the Pharaoh knows this guy?" Joey asked. "My name's Kurisu Furo. I was chosen for a mission to expand my dueling knowledge. Unfortunately, I'm only a beginner," Kurisu said. "Well, what you need knowledge for? I could teach you how to duel. I was the Battle City runner-up, you know." Joey bragged. "That's fine, Joey. There's really no need," Kurisu said politely. "Yeah, besides, he might learn how to lose like you did," Tristan Taylor said, trying to tease Joey. Tristan, Joey's friend, sported a hairstyle that was like an arrow pointing upward and forwards. Both Joey and Tristan wore the same blue school uniform. "Yeah, thanks a lot, Tristan," Joey said grumpily. Even though Tristan was teasing Joey, it didn't really boost up Kurisu's confidence for his first duel. "Hey, look. You'll do okay," Tia said to Kurisu, reassuring him. The brunette girl had a pink shirt with blue skirt, the common amongst female students. "Yeah. Just believe in the heart of the cards and you'll do just fine. Always. Worked out for me," Yugi said for assurance. "Well, that's nice, you too. Things work out for me differently. The thing is, I may not be good at games very much, and it hurts my dueling probability by a huge margin. I sure hope I know what I'm getting myself into," Kurisu said. "Well, Kurisu, pal, we'll trust that, if you ever get yourself caught up in a duel, we'll be there to cheer you on. Even if you win or lose. It don't matter." What's important is that you're having fun, Joey said. Well put, Joey, Yugi said. Thanks. Thanks for trusting me. I'll do my best, no matter what, Kurisu said. I'm afraid I can't let him leave so soon, Kaiba said, coming close nearby. Seto Kaiba? Joey and Tristan called out in confusion. Why not this time, Kaiba? Yugi asked, demanding to know. Out of my business, little runt. This person is hiding some unknown, very powerful cards, and I am seeking to know what they are. Seto Kaiba demanded. Unknown? Yugi asked. Powerful? Joey asked. Kurisu didn't know what to sigh and sighed nervously. That's right. If you don't mind showing your oh-so unknown cards, I'll spare you the suffering, unless if you rather show me those cards in a duel, Kaiba said, catching on his attention. Kaiba, what is it with you? What does it matter if his cards are your business or not? He's only coming here for a visit, and will be on his way to somewhere else, so cut him some slack, Yugi said, trying to ward him off. Yugi, Kurisu said, surprised that Yugi Muto would easily stand up for him. If that's so, I'm sure he wouldn't mind if he'd catch even a quick duel before he leaves. I'm very anxious to know what he's hiding, Kaiba said. You know what, sir? I'll decline on that offer, if you intend to bug me about it further. I'm sure the cards in my possession are nothing of worth to you, and are cards only I know how to possess. You will never get a hold of my cards, no way, shape, or form. Now if you'll excuse me, I'll be on my way for something very important. Yugi friends, it's been nice meeting you, but I must go now. Have a good day, Kurisu said as he walked off. Hey! Makuba shouted as he tried to chase after Kurisu behind view of an alleyway behind the building, but it seemed like he vanished. But what really happened was Kurisu was whisked away just in time to cross to the GX era, and was well on his way to the Duel Academy. As he got up to the entrance, Jaden was waiting for him. Hey man! You finally made it, Jaden said. Yeah. I would have been late had it not been for Kaiba trying to box me in for my cards back in the classic era. And also, had it not been for Yugi Muto saving my butt, Kurisu said. Well, I finished my duel exams already and they're finishing up, Jaden said. Wait, these duel exams. Do they have to do with written tests? Kurisu asked, incredulously confused. Ha! No, it's a duel test. You got your deck ready? Jaden asked. Why yeah? Aw man, you serious? My first duel is an entry exam? Kurisu asked. He dreaded having to test using his cards after all, just to pass an exam. His first exam is playing card games. Afraid so, bud. Worst case scenario would be if you'd blew it, or you'd end up in the Slifer Red dorms, Jaden said. Fine. I sure hope I'll know what I'll get myself into, Kurisu said. Hey, good luck. Remember to have fun and get your game on. No pressure at all, Jaden said, patting Kurisu back. Thanks, Jaden Yuki, Kurisu said, as he walked in. The last of the dual entrance exams have begun, and we're just about to finish up. The last remaining duelists please report to the arenas now, one of the over voices said. Kurisu appeared on one side of the remaining field spots, and was awaiting his opponent. He very quickly brought out his organized deck and bothered not to look at any of the cards he had prepared and shuffled them as best as he could. Alright Kuri, no pressure. This is one entry exam that will determine if you got what it takes to do it, Kurisu thought as he prepared his dual matrix and inserted his deck into the device. The last entry will face off against the newcomer named Kurisu Furo will now arrive, the voiceover said. His opponent turned out to be a girl, but with the overall familiar black hairstyle, and the wind green garb suited for a ninja, who had maroon eyes, and surprised Kurisu exponentially. Yumi? Kurisu exclaimed. Kurisu? What are you doing here? Yumi asked. Out of all the opponents out there, my first duel is with one of my fellow Lyoko warriors? Kurisu asked himself mentally. He had a look of sheer confusion. Hey Cyrus. How are things? Jaden asked the cyan-haired kid. Jaden, you're here. Who's that? Cyrus Trustdale asked, pointing at Kurisu. Oh, I know him. That's Kurisu Furo. And who's the girl that's about to duel him? Jaden asked. She's new. Her name is Yumi Ishiyama, as far as I've heard. Wait, those two are dueling. Cyrus said, looking interested. Yumi, this will be my ever first duel. I don't want to face off against you. Kurisu said. I don't either, but this is what it has to be. I want to be enrolled in this school. My Dragunities are going to see that I come to this school. Yumi said. So do I with my variety deck. Ready? Kurisu asked. A duel between friends? This was not how Kurisu first thought this would turn out. To think he would have settled on Kaiba first. Let's duel, they both said. Their life points both set on 8,000. To be continued.